Fortnite OG is making a return this year in 2024. The first one was so successful and Epic was so surprised that they're gonna bring back OG in a way that none of us expect. But what exactly does that mean, and how will Epic pull something like this off again? Well, the first thing that came to mine and a lot of other people's heads was that they would actually bring back the Chapter 2 island and seasons rather than Chapter 1. Now, a lot of people will say that Chapter 2 isn't OG in the slightest, but it's Chapter 5 now, and by the time this next OG season rolls around, it will have been almost 5 years since Chapter 2 Season 1. I bet you didn't realize that. Now, there are a few things Epic did so well in their last OG season that they can carry over. If you think back, the Chapter 1 season was split into different weeks, and those weeks were a mix of 2 seasons from Chapter 1. The Season 7 and 8 week added small pirate camps from Season 8, and then the massive snow biome was kinda cut down to be put on the map for the Season 7 part. Okay, this really didn't mix those seasons all too well, but I think the Chapter 2 remake can do it a lot better. With the week of Season 1 and 2, it's kind of already a mix of the 2 maps, and with Season 3 and 4, that's where it starts to get interesting. Playing on a half-flooded island that still has all the fan-favorite Marvel POIs like Doom's Domain and Stark Industries would be really interesting, and I'm sad we never really got to do that. So Chapter 2 OG is a great opportunity to introduce something like this. For the items this week, I'd add back the Ocean's Bottomless Chug Jug from Season 3, the Thor's Hammer Mythic from Season 4, and the Kit's Charged Shotgun from Season 3. And I'd also add back all the other weapons. This is just to give you an idea of what the main parts of the season would be. This whole concept, along with weeks for every other season, is on my Twitter, link in the description, and while you're down there, drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're enjoying the video so far. Something I find that a lot are forgetting is that LTMs were a big part of Chapter 1 and also Chapter 2. Chapter 2 Season 1 had the Storm King LTM, which was awesome. Chapter 2 Season 2 had the Spy Games, which I played all the time. Chapter 2 Season 3, well, that didn't have much in any case. Chapter 2 Season 4 had the Marvel Knockout mode, and even Chapter 2 Season 6 had the Impossible Escape Survival mode, which is arguably the only good thing to come out of that season. And I know that now we've got creative and we've got Lego and we've got rocket racing, but LTMs can fit in there too. Even way back in Chapter 2 Season 7 and 8, we still had these whole new extension games like Imposters. That was a pretty big deal. I think something that's also a pretty big deal recently is the controversy of bringing back Battle Pass skins, and more specifically collabs. If I had to choose what skins would be in the Chapter 2 OG Pass, I'd like to choose ones that I know are iconic and that people missed out on and that they want to get again. I think Midas should definitely be in there in some form. He perfectly represents Chapter 2. Everyone's favorite season was Season 2. Then I think we should have Iron Man in some variety. I mean, how hard is it to get a Marvel collab in Battle Pass? We've seen it so many times before. Then I think we need TNTina because again, really iconic season and really iconic character. And then finally, I think we need Lexa. She was the sweat skin of that whole chapter and of Chapter 2 Season 5, representing a ton of people who played at that time and giving an opportunity for people to get these skins who didn't play back in those days. Because we forget what they missed out on. Going back to that argument about the whole collab issue, Chapter 2 was really the thing that made Fortnite's identity with collabs. Sure, Chapter 1 had a few like John Wick and Batman, but that was pretty much it. Chapter 2 is really what brought it home with Deadpool and Terminator and Predator. Like, we had most of those in one season too. This whole meme that Fortnite is a place where you can find Donald Trump cranking on Goku or whatever, it's pretty much made solely by Chapter 2. At least that's what definitely kickstarted the whole thing. Another thing I have to comment on with Chapter 2 is how it had literally no bad story events, and I say story events specifically. The concerts were sick too. I don't know whatever this is, this was horrible, but the concerts were cool. In terms of main events, we had the Device, which was a flood and was sick and told us all about like Jones and stuff. That was cool. The Galactus event was on a huge scale. It felt like straight out of a Star Wars game. I loved it, and I don't even like Marvel. And then we had the Zero Crisis, which was really unique and I loved it and I want more like that in the future. And then we had the reveal of 1,000 cubes, and then the reveal of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Like, these were not moments that you wanted to miss. And I think because of these iconic moments in pop culture, like Chapter 2 Season 2 blowing up in the pandemic, or Fortnite's entire game turning into a Marvel Battle Royale, there's actually going to be quite a lot of people who jump on for the start of this Chapter 2 OG season. I think they'll keep playing through the Marvel season because it's Marvel and most people love that, and then you might see a bit of a player drop in Primal, but that won't really be an issue this time around, and I'll tell you why. When the last first Fortnite OG season happened, we literally had Battle Royale and Save the World, I guess, but who plays that? If you didn't like where the game was at that point, you sort of didn't have anything to do. Whereas now, if people are brought into the game by the hype of everything and they try it out, if they stop playing Battle Royale, they are now exposed to and have access to all the different other modes like Lego, Racing, and Festival. This is a great way to target a different audience to that of which came for the Chapter 1 return, and hey, some of them might come back as well, because I'm sure they love Chapter 2. Regardless of the audience that comes to the game, whoever they are will be exposed to lots of new modes like the ones that already exist, and some ones that are coming in the future too, like open world. When LEGO Fortnite released, there were a lot of people, myself sort of included, that thought maybe this was the open world mode for Fortnite, but it isn't. On Twitter recently, there's been lots of talk about how the open world mode is going to have separate Fortnite related bosses and is not going to be the LEGO mode at all, so that's really good to hear. I'm glad about that. I think the open world mode could have a lot of potential, mainly because of something we saw in the Big Bang event. Fortnite Story now has lots of different galaxies confirmed to be a part of it, so open world could explore these different worlds and maybe home worlds of characters that we know and love. A character that I think pretty much everyone who follows Fortnite very briefly knows and really wants to come back is Midas, and there's actually teasers on the island right now for him to come back. Tying this all back to what we were going on about before, I think Midas could actually be linked to why we are getting the Chapter 2 OG season if we do get it. Not only is there his yacht on the island, the doors from his agency, and a mode literally named after Midas, but there's also the main enemy of this season's story who has something to do with kidnapping Peely, who is Greek, she has interest in the 0 point, and she works in a group that has a ruby relic and a diamond relic. So maybe Midas has the golden relic and that's how he has the golden touch or something. I don't know, I'm not too in touch with the story, but I think I got the rough idea, maybe not. But regardless, there is a lot of cool stuff coming with Midas, the Chapter 2 OG return, and if Chapter 2 OG does bring the attention back to the game, I think it will bring a lot of new people in to see what Fortnite has coming. That's what they did last time, and they'll do it again and probably make it even better. So I'm excited for the future of the game, and I'll see you all on the Chapter 2 map.